Hello and welcome to Creatives on the Couch. I'm Zach Rose. I'm joined by my co-star Gemma Cosgrove. And with us in the studio we have Andre Octavio, the audio dude. Hello Andre.
G'day, how's it going?
I'm alright. Now please tell us, what is it that you do?
Oh well, I'm an audio engineer, so I'm a sound recorder. So basically I go on set and I'm the guy with the boom mic that's capturing all the audio. I also do sound design and ADR work, so a lot of post-production audio work. And yeah, that's basically, I cover all the audio post-production and pre-production for any short films and stuff like that.
Well Andre, how did you get your start in audio?
Oh well, I used to play guitar when I was a young kid, so I started getting into listening to guitar music on the radio, and back then we had cassettes, and so yeah, I used to put the cassette in there and record whatever song I can get, and then try and learn it from the recording, and then it just got me fascinated that I can actually record audio, onto back then it was analog, so I just sort of progressed into getting 4-track recorders, 8-track recorders, until now I've, it's full, my studio is all digital, and, so that's how I started getting into audio. Yeah.
And I understand you don't just play guitar, you play a number of instruments, is that correct?
Yeah, I play one or two pretty good, but I play maybe 5 instruments, I would say half as good as the other ones. So. And
what are they?
My main instrument's called, it's like a flute, so it's like a South American instrument called quena, and it's got 7 holes, and it's based off the recorder, but it's from South America. So, and that's what I got really good at, especially in my 20s. I did a lot of touring, and I was known for a quena player, and the other one is a guitar, so I play Spanish guitar. Yeah.
And what artists do you like to listen to from South America?
Oh, well, more on the traditional side of South American artists. So, like, there's a few traditional bands. One called Iapu. Mm-hmm. A lot of people that don't know music won't recognize that band. But Iapu, there's another band called Los Jarcas, which is like more from Bolivia. So it's funny because I went from Chile to Bolivia. So I started getting more fascinated in Bolivian music. So those sort of bands, they really impressed me at a young age.
And so you've played your own music, you've created your own music, you've toured. What sort of themes and types of music are you playing? Has it come from this inspiration?
Yeah, it has. Yeah, most of the music I play when I'm on tour is South American. Some of them originals, but mostly the classics from like 100 years ago or 50 years ago. So. Yeah, so when we're on tour, we do like the world music festivals, and so we've been around Australia, and we've been, overseas to some of the Asian world music festivals and stuff like that. So, yeah.
And what's your band called?
Well, it's called Masikuna, is my band now, but I was involved in several bands 10 years ago, that were, one of them got nominated for an ARIA award.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and I think we got a platinum album too. We sold 100,000 CDs, so we did a lot back, early 2000s. So, yeah, it was a lot of fun.
An ARIA award, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, well, it was a nomination, but it was for Best World Music Act in, I think it was 2001 or 2002. Best World Music Album, sorry. Yeah.
Wow.
And what was your album called?
It was called Auki Auki, which is like a Peruvian, it's a Quechua. In South America, there's a language called Quechua, so it's like, and that's what the name is, Auki Auki. It comes from that. But that was pretty famous back then. Pretty popular, so to speak. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Oh, thanks.
An ARIA nomination is impressive,
yeah.
Andre. So the band name and album, so people can listen to this if they want to? Yeah,
well, the band was called Incamarca, and it was a band that I used to play with probably for about 5 years. And the album name was called Auki Auki, which is a Quechuan name, meaning like hey, or it's talking to a little girl, basically. It's like a name of a little girl in Quechua. And yeah, it got pretty popular in about 2001, 2002. And yeah, it was probably my only ARIA nomination.
So far.
So far,
I'm
yeah,
sure.
exactly. Yeah.
And what does the name Incamarca mean?
Inca marker name, Inca is a tribe. So Inca is like from Peru. So it used to be a tribe, 500 years ago before the Spaniards came in. And marca means like force. So it's like Inca force sort of thing. It's another Quechua name, marca. But, yeah.
And Quechua, what is Quechua?
Quechua is a language from the Incas.
Okay.
So the Incas were the tribe, almost like the indigenous South American Indians.
Mm-hmm.
And Quechua was the language, mostly from Peru and Bolivia.
And so you speak this language as well?
Not Quechua.
No?
I know a few words here and there. And when we sing, sometimes the songs are in Quechua. And I know the words, but yeah, it's not something I'm confident speaking.
So you learn it phonetically, sort of?
Yeah, the words of the song, yeah.
Words of the song,
I just learn the words, and when we're singing, I just, say the words.
Feel the rhythm.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Now, I'm really interested to explore with you how you go about writing and creating new music, because you do write and create new music yourself.
Yeah.
What process do you go through?
Writing music. It's just about letting go of your thoughts. So that's the first step. I think a lot of people write music and they want to write a good song. So they start thinking, I'm going to do a song like this. It's letting go of all your thoughts and just feeling what you're feeling. I try and think of something in the past and then just start playing away. And even if it sounds like rubbish, just press record. Yeah, I normally press record on my phone or whatever for an hour. And then, all of a sudden you might get a minute that's got a cool little riff. And the main point is getting rid of your thoughts and feeling it, as opposed to trying to do it. So. Did
it take you a long time to figure that out?
Yes and no. But yeah. It has. You learn as you get older, obviously. The more you think, the less you can create. But the more you feel and the more you want to do it, it just comes out naturally.
Perfect.
So, yeah.
Good tips, thank you.
Yeah.
As a songwriter, do you need to be in a sort of headspace, the right kind of mood to make what you want to make?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely the right mood. So you can't be... I like writing when I'm angry or when something happens, pissed me off, or, a relative died, God forbid a relative died, or something like that, you're at home or you miss someone in a breakup, or I don't know, anything that you're going through. But when everything's good and happy, I'm not really. So, it's good to write a happy song, but I personally like writing when things are a bit on the darker side.
Of course.
So you can really, it's almost like therapy. Instead of going and having a drink and getting drunk, or going and doing something stupid like, I don't know, it's better to just go and write music.
That sounds like a positive outlet.
Yeah, it is. It's really good. Actually, I recommend it for depression too. People should, try doing music or some form of art,
Well, that is fantastic, Andre, and we are going to take a short break.
Welcome back to Creatives on the Couch. Today we're speaking with Andre Octavio. Andre, tell us about your current band and the type of music that you're playing.
My current band, it's called Masikuna, which is another Incan name, which means like a group force, like the force of a... It's a similar name as the other one, but it's more of a group meaning. And we're three of us, and we've just been playing in little festivals to start with, in little festivals around Melbourne, Spanish festivals and stuff like that, and some restaurants here and there, So basically we're just starting out since last year, and because I've known the guys in the group for 10, 20 years, we just sort of click. When we get together, we don't even need a rehearsal, we just all click, So yeah, that's my latest band. Yeah.
Now, as a musician and sound engineer, do you prefer recording in analog or digital?
Oh, digital, for
digital?
Sure. Yeah, digital for sure. You just save. It's way cheaper and it's also way quicker for editing. So I suppose analog has a different sound to it, which I'd love to explore one day. Maybe when I'm older, I'm going to get into that old school analog recordings.
There's the argument that it's warmer.
Yeah,
do you believe that?
Definitely, yeah. It definitely has a... Actually, there's some digital plugins. Like a plugin is like an effect on a digital, when you're recording digitally, there's an effect that you can put that turns it into an analog sounding.
Yeah,
It replicates the analog sound. So, but nothing beats like a vinyl. When you listen to a vinyl,
that's true.
you know, it sounds like the band's actually playing there.
Great.
You know?
Yeah.
So, yeah. In answer to that question, I prefer digital now, but eventually I reckon I'm going to go back.
I like that.
Back, yeah, to analog. So, yeah.
And so you do have your own recording studio, and the Audio Dude is your business. Tell us what you do there.
Yeah, I do. Luckily enough, you know, I've got my own studio, and well, the Audio Dude, it covers all audio around film, mostly around film or commercials or anything media sort of related. And it's the first step, obviously, is going on set and recording sound. So we go there with all the microphones and the big fluffy microphones. You know, I'm the guy that's standing in the corner calling sound speed. So we say sound speed, and then once it's recorded.
Sorry.
Yeah.
What does sound speed mean?
Well, speed is back in the day, it used to be the audio was done on a motor. So it used to be when the motor started going. It's sort of like it refers to the olden day terms on set. So we just say speed, and also using the word speed differentiates from rolling, because we don't want cameras. Sometimes we've got 3 cameras, and if it's rolling, we don't know which one's audio, which one's. So speed really stands out. When you hear speed, bang, the sound's on. You know. So there's a few different reasons why we use speed, but yeah. So, and then so after we record on set, obviously it goes to post-production, and that's where I take it to my studio and I put all the WAV files that I've recorded, you know, on my timeline. I sync it up to the video, so I get the data from whoever's shooting. We sync it up, and then I edit all the audio files, and so that's basically post-audio work. And and sometimes for whatever reason on set, there might be a helicopter, or there's so many times where we're recording, and sometimes there's all these school kids next door and we can't get clear dialogue. So we do a thing called ADR, which means basically the actor has to come into the studio and look at the screen and look at their face and get into a sound booth and try and talk over their footage. So I can put the new version of them talking over the footage, and that we call ADR, you know. Right. And that's pretty common now. In fact, some films only do ADR.
Oh wow!
Yeah, they just bypass the whole, they get on set recording, but it's all done with ADR. You know, a lot of Hollywood productions do it like that, and so there's fors and there's against. You know, yeah.
Now, also, you record Foley, depending on what dialect you are.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. Tell us the experience.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Foley's a lot of fun. I call it Foley. I don't know. I've never known if that's right or wrong, but
yeah, neither do I.
But it's a lot of fun because.
What is it, first of all?
Well, Foley is when you basically get for example, I get a 10-minute short film on a cowboy movie. For example, there's horses, there's people walking around, there's a guy falling off the horse, and there's no sound, because on set, if there's 50 people on set, no one's going to get clear sound of those. So what we do is we look at that visual of the guy falling off, and then we repeat that. We try and find something around that makes that exact sound. So we do a sound here to match it, and then we match it to the visual. Okay. And then if there's someone walking across the room, we do footsteps. Yep. And we match it to the visual. So it's basically creating the sounds in the studio and then matching it to the visuals. And then when you listen to it later, you can never tell it's done in a studio. It actually looks really, it sounds really like it's from set, you know. And that's when you know there's a good Foley artist, if you can't tell. Right. But if you can tell, for example, if a big door's shutting and then you hear like a chain door or a metal door, and you go, that's horrible, you know. So you got to, it's an art in itself. You know, there's Foley artist, and that's probably not one of my fortes, but it is an art in itself, you know.
Fantastic.
Yeah, but it's a lot of fun. Definitely a lot of fun. Right.
Now, Andre, tell us a little bit about your sound design.
Oh, my sound design. Sound design's a bit people don't really know the difference between sound design, Foley, and they think it's all one thing. So I get a lot of calls of people saying, "Do you do sound design?" And they think that everything is the same. But basically, what sound design is getting all the ingredients of you get all the ingredients and you put it all on one timeline, and then you design sounds for things that need like a spaceship. If a spaceship's flying, obviously the Foley artist can't go and find a spaceship and so we have to design a sound. So it's basically designing sounds for stuff that we can't really do in Foley, and just even just designing sound. That's basically what it is, and it's sort of another ingredient to the whole mixing, which is going to the end goal of mixing. So yeah, sometimes I have to design sounds for an alien talking. For like we're doing an alien movie at the moment, and I have to design these, like there's this little ball creature, so I have to design, you know, and yeah, it's like another art in itself too.
And
know?
so when it's a sound that isn't naturally occurring, are you doing this digitally, or do you try to find sounds in real life that are similar? How do you approach that?
Yeah, sometimes I find sounds and I just sort of tweak it, or I stretch it out, or you transpose it, which means lowering it, you know, or like Darth Vader's voice. You can really lower, you know, or you can make it higher. You can sort of, once you put it on the workstation, we can design it how we want. And other ways I'll go digitally through MIDI.
Yep.
So I'll go through whatever sounds I've got in my MIDI station, which is thousands and thousands.
Well, tell us what a MIDI station is.
A MIDI station is basically it's like you've got keyboards. For example, a keyboard triggers MIDI. So MIDI is like digital files that are triggered by something else. So if you want to trigger, just say you've got a violin that's been recorded, samples. That's the word I was looking for. If you've got a violin that records for 1 hour, and then I want to trigger that one sound, I press this on the keyboard and it triggers and it gets that sound. Okay. So basically, all my MIDI files are basically mostly all samples, or you know, little noises that have been designed already, and they're triggered by whatever I plug into my computer. So if I plug in a keyboard, I can trigger that file, and then I can put it on my timeline. You know, or some people have a MIDI guitar they can plug in there, and their guitar can sound like a trumpet, just because someone played a trumpet. So I can play guitar and it'll sound like a trumpet. Or so now we're at a stage with technology. My guitar can sound like anything in the world. You know, it can sound like a harp, it can sound like a, you know. So that's basically what MIDI is. It's basically like, I would call it samples, digital little samples.
It's amazing how far we have come.
Yeah,
Andre,
it's
thanks.
incredible. Yeah.
We're going to cut to a short break. We'll be back with you shortly.
Welcome back to Creatives on the Couch. We're here with Andre Octavio, the audio dude. Now please tell us what you've been doing in film.
In film, I've been involved in film since COVID. COVID really got me into this area where I wanted to change my career path, and I thought the other side of audio would be visual. So I got into filmmaking, and obviously being from an audio background, I started doing sound on sets, and I got involved in a few productions that were being shot over in India, and half in India and half in Australia. And they're pretty big international projects. One of them's name is 7-Eleven. Other one is Kazaa. Yeah, and yeah, I think they're going to be released this year actually. And yeah, so on one of them I did sound recorders. So I was on set recording the sound. The other one was shot in India, and I did all the audio in my studio. So I did all the Foley work and ADR work. And yeah, so I've been involved in, and we'll say, a lot of short films. So weekly, I'm on a different short film every week. You know?
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun because you meet all the people, you start networking. Yeah, so in my short career, I've only 3 years being in film. I've really grown a lot, and I'm starving to grow more. So I've got the thirst of, wanting to grow more, and it's looking that way. As, yeah.
Well, Andre, what's next? What are you working on at the moment?
At the moment, I'm working on 2 feature films. So I'm doing sound on 2 feature films, and one of them's called Residence, and yeah, they're with the old Neighbours, a few of the old Neighbours actors, such as Kim Ballantyne and Ian Smith, who's Harold Bishop. So we're doing a zombie movie, a post-apocalypse sort of zombie movie, which is really fun, you know.
I love that.
Yeah, no, it's really fun to be on set, you know. And the other one is Hoodlums, which is like a sort of a gangster, Aussie gangster movie. You know, it has some really good actors in it, and you know. So that's what I'm doing audio-wise. But I also write and direct myself. Well, I'm getting into writing and directing.
Okay.
I've always written, and being a musician, I love writing, and so now I'm getting all the stuff I wrote, and I'm starting to turn them into movies and directing, and so it's pretty much getting my visions on screen is my goal. And at the moment, I'm just finished one episode of a series that I'm doing, named No Clip is a series, and the episode's called Willowbank. But yeah, No Clip is sort of like a X-Files meets forensic investigators, sort of, it's like a Australian police show that investigate weird occurrences or disappearances or, you know, ghost stories or whatever.
Interesting.
And yeah, it's like every episode is going to be a different thing that happened to the person from a different genre. It's like, you know, so
anthology, procedural kind of.
Yeah, pretty much. So it's sort of like an interview-based episode. So it's sort of like forensic investigators. I don't know if you watch that police shows where they investigate, you know, a murder that happened 10 years ago, and they explain the whole process of how they found the murderer. And they're really interesting. You know, they've got a lot of voiceovers, and so it's that, but you know, with obviously fake stories that are fictitious, you know, like about ghost stories, or so yeah. And
when will this be released?
Oh, it's going to be released in June. So we just finished the animation. So now it's in color grading, just fixing up the last final things of it. And yeah, so hopefully, I would say by the 10th of June, it's going to be released, that episode. And we're releasing episode 2 first, which is weird because normally episode 1 comes first. But I want people to watch episode 2 and wonder what happened before, you know, so
it's a bit Star Wars like.
A little bit, a little bit, yeah. So I want them to watch episode 2, 3, and then go to episode 1, and then I want them to realise, oh, shit, that wasn't what I was thinking, because episode 1 says this. So almost like a little twist to it by watching the first episode last.
That's bold. I like it.
Yeah, so it's something cool, and so yeah.
Now, where can we find your work?
Well, I'm on obviously Facebook and Instagram, just under Andre Octavio. Just if you search my name on Facebook, you'll see a picture of me smiling. That's me. And yeah, most of the stuff I post on my Facebook page, and I've got a website too, which is theaudiodude.net. And yeah, you can see all my my bios, or you know, all the services that I offer there.
And where is your studio?
In Roeville. So Roeville is about half an hour away from the city, from Melbourne City. Yeah.
Brilliant.
So it's not too far. Yeah.
Well, Andre, that's all we have time for today, but thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been fabulous speaking with you.
No worries. Thank you. Thanks for having me. Yeah. I'm
Gemma Cosgrove. We've been with Zach Rose and Andre Octavio on Creatives on the Couch. We look forward to seeing you next time.